In response to a growing security threat, the Ministry of Home Affairs has granted Z category security to Tibetan spiritual leader His Holiness the Dalai Lama, based on a detailed threat assessment report from the Intelligence Bureau. A chilling death threat has been made against the Dalai Lama, prompting immediate action by the Indian authorities. Intel sources have told CNN News 18, shared with us by Manoj Kumar Gupta, Network 18 Group Editor in Investigations and Security Affairs, that the Dalai Lama is under threat from an Australian citizen of Tibetan origin named Singhe. Singhe has issued threats on social media, specifically on Meta platforms, Facebook, calling for the assassination of the Dalai Lama, comparing the act to the assassination of Libya's Muammar Gaddafi. Singhe is now subject to prohibition orders under the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita or BNS. Singhe has been booked under various sections of the BNS, and the district administration has cited various violations by Singhe, including waging war against Bharat and acts causing public nuisance and community disturbance. Top intelligence sources further reveal that the government considers this threat with utmost seriousness due to its international implications. The recent death threat to the Dalai Lama has far-reaching consequences, not just for Bharat, but for the global community at large. The intel sources also underline the ramifications of this threat, the various angles. The Dalai Lama holds immense significance for the Tibetan diaspora, which is spread across Bharat, China, Bhutan and Nepal. And with a sizable number of Tibetans residing in Bharat, any threat to their spiritual leader could ignite widespread unrest among the community. Intel sources further reveal that the death threats made against the Dalai Lama could escalate into a more significant geopolitical crisis, given the Dalai Lama's international stature as a peace icon. Any harm to him may fuel tensions between Bharat and China. Sources also added that the threats against the Dalai Lama have caused deep distress among Tibetans both in Bharat and abroad. According to intelligence reports, the threat to the Dalai Lama has already sparked protests in various parts of Bharat, and sources predict that large-scale demonstrations could erupt if any harm comes to the spiritual leader. And intel sources stress that if the Dalai Lama is harmed in any way, it could severely damage Bharat's international reputation, especially regarding its stance on religious tolerance and human rights. And in the aftermath of the chilling death threats against the Dalai Lama, CNN News 18 has also accessed the CCP's latest strategy to delegitimize the Tibetan spiritual leader. Intel sources have told CNN News 18 and Manoj Kumar Gupta getting us these details that the Chinese Communist Party has effectively utilized state-controlled media to craft a narrative around the Dalai Lama that paints him as an enemy of the state, accusing him of inciting violence and unrest in Tibet. Now, one of the CCP's primary tactics is spreading propaganda that aims to turn Tibetans against His Holiness. The Tibetan children are taught a distorted narrative that labels the Dalai Lama as a separatist who seeks to divide China. The CCP asserts that Tibet has always been an integral part of China and that Tibetan Buddhism should be under the control of the CCP and not exiled religious leaders. The CCP has employed coercion and intimidation to silence any support for the Dalai Lama. Monasteries are forced to denounce him, while monks who remain loyal face arrest, torture and forced re-education. The state-run media outlets like the Global Times, Xinhua and CGTN, along with a network of fake social media accounts, are being used to spread false allegations accusing the Dalai Lama of inciting violence and colluding with Western powers. Now, furthermore, the CCP's biggest tool is to promote alternative Tibetan Buddhist leaders. Now, Tibetans living abroad recruited to spy on the Dalai Lama. Controlling the succession of the Dalai Lama is another key objective for the CCP. They claim the authority to choose the next Dalai Lama, rejecting any successor chosen by His Holiness or the Tibetan community at large. Now, China's Panchen Lama is used as a political tool to replace the Dalai Lama's influence. Furthermore, the images of the Dalai Lama are banned in Tibet, and any expression of loyalty to him is being criminalized. China has increasingly turned to covert and coercive methods to undermine the Dalai Lama's influence, using a variety of tactics to weaken Tibetan unity and shift global perception. Intel sources have further revealed that Tibetans are recruited, bribed and blackmailed by China both inside Tibet and abroad into serving its political interests. Through a series of coercive measures, Tibetans are being pressured into aligning with China's political goals. China has been utilizing Tibetan origin individuals who have been brought under its influence or are sympathetic to its agenda to create divisions within the Tibetan community. Efforts to create rifts within the Tibetan diaspora are also underway, and as Tibetans are being manipulated into opposing one another. In an attempt to manipulate global perceptions of the Dalai Lama, campaigns are being run wildly, rapidly, and being fueled by bot networks and pro-CCP influencers. A recent example of the CCP's propaganda efforts occurred in April 2023 when a video of the Dalai Lama interacting with an Indian boy was manipulated and disseminated online. Chinese propagandists have edited the Dalai Lama's past video to falsely labeling him as a pedophile. China has expertly capitalized on the lack of understanding about Tibetan culture and traditions in the West to spread falsehoods about the Dalai Lama. With the increasing global focus on child protection, China has also used past videos of His Holiness to heighten sensitivity and also the attack on the Dalai Lama. Let's go across to our guest, Tenzin Sundu, Tibetan writer and activist with us, Sushant Sareed, Senior Fellow ORF with us, and we should have Andrew K.P. Leung, China strategist, also to join us very, very soon. My namaste. Thank you very, very much. Tenzin, how would you respond to what we have now got? There is a threat, there is security that's been increased, but this is also part of a larger gameplay.